All right, for this assignment, we were supposed to explain how a round robin tournament is structured and how a double elimination tournament is structured with placement. For this first video, I'm going to explain how a round robin tournament works, and yeah. So for my example that I used, I did a round robin tennis tournament. Sort of similar to the one in the back of the book. I missed the lectures, so I had to kind of refer to the book and some YouTube videos to get an understanding on this. But first and foremost, I just wanted to go over a few things about the round robin tournament. Some of the positives that come with hosting a tournament kind of like this. All individuals or teams, depending on which kind of tournament it is, they'll all end up playing each other. So no matter what, everybody gets to play each other at least once. Another thing is it can be used in a day-long competition, so full day, or it can be over a long period of time. In my example, I kind of did it over a period of, I think, around like 10 days. 8 or 10 days, something like that. Another cool thing is that you know all the pairings. So if it was just a one-day tournament, you'll know all the pairings and which court and where you need to be from the very beginning. So it's not like you, as you go, you'll change courts and stuff. You'll know everything from the very beginning, so you'll need to check it once. One thing that comes with that is it's easier to prepare for opponents, but the opponents can also prepare to play against you just as easy as you can to them. Another thing is that unlike knockout tournaments, in this kind of tournament, the round robin tournament, you won't be eliminated that early, so you will have a chance to at least play more than one game. There's only a couple disadvantages to this kind of tournament. One of them was that it could take a lot of time, so that's one disadvantage. And then if someone drops out, like let's say in the middle of the tournament, or let's say midday, it can cause difficulties on the tournament director to try and replace that person, or figures out what happens to the remaining players that were supposed to play that person. So that can get kind of weird too. All right. Anyway, I'm just going to explain this one kind of quick. I kind of already drew it out. These boxes right here, so all these boxes with names in them, those are the winners. So obviously, if it was the beginning of the tournament, these boxes wouldn't be filled out because no one has played yet. These are all the courts. So it's either going to be on court 1, court 2, or court 3, and then these are the certain days. So you can see it's like June 14th is the start of the tournament. You can see the last day of the tournament is June 23rd, I believe. So it looks like it's about a 9-day tournament. This is just for the first round. So for example, this is how you would look at it. So Sharapova, so I use tennis players, women's tennis players. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but that's what I just chose to do because it's easier. So for this first round, Sharapova would be playing Sloane Stevens, and Stevens won. In this next one, Sharapova is going to be playing Venus Williams. Venus Williams won, of course. They've been dominating tennis forever. And for example, Coco was a younger tennis player. Sharapova is playing Coco. Oh, Coco upset her. So that's kind of how that goes, and you just go down the line and across, and that's who's playing each other. And like I said, these boxes are going to be the people who won. So let's just say Serena Williams. So Serena Williams actually won the whole entire tournament in my example. So Serena Williams on this day in this court plays Naomi Osaka. She's the second best player in the world, but Serena Williams won. So after, just fast forwarding, if I went through all the players and the players they were going against and whose names in here the most, Serena Williams won the most matches. So if it was just a one-day event, in this case, Serena Williams would have won because she won 4 games. Sloane Stevens and Venus Williams tied, so they'd end up having to play each other again to decide that, and then as well as Coco and Osaka because they tied at 2. And Sharapova, unfortunately, she's gotten worse over the years and didn't make it, so she lost. So that's kind of how the round robin tournaments goes, and in the next video, I'll explain the double elimination and placement. All right, thank you. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to explain how a double elimination with placement tournament is structured, and I'm going to walk you through as if it was a whole day of play and the tournament went from start to finish. Okay, so kind of just imagine this so far without these names here and these names here. So it's just kind of these 8 names down the middle. This is the beginning of the tournament. So basically we have 2 sides. We're going to have this winner side, and then we're also going to have a loser side. So for this first game, Mike and Brad are playing. Mike wins. Brad goes to the loser side. Jim and Steve play. Steve wins. Steve goes to the loser side. Dale and Tanner play. Tanner wins. Dale goes to this loser side. And Cole and Nick go at it. This is a track meet, by the way, so they're running. And Cole and Tanner play, or Cole and Nick play. Cole wins. Nick goes to the loser side. So then for this winner side, we have Mike and Steve. Steve wins. And so what happens to Mike is Mike goes over to this line over here that's not connected to anybody, and he's going to play one of these 2 losers. So same thing here. Tanner and Cole went against each other, or raced against each other. Tanner won, so Cole moves over here to this line. And so now, for the winner's side, we have Steve and Tanner playing each other for sort of the championship, but to be the winner on the winner's side. So Steve wins, and so Steve's our winner. And so now we go back over to this loser side. Brad and Jim are playing each other because Jim lost to Steve, so he was over here. And so Jim beats Brad. So Jim beats Brad, so Jim moves here. So now Brad has lost his first match and his second match, 2 in a row. So we are going to cross him off. So he's out. And then same thing down here. So Dale and Nick raced each other. Nick won, and so that means Dale is out because he lost his first match versus Tanner, and then his second one versus Nick. So Dale is out. So let's go a little bit more forward. Jim is going against Mike. Mike wins, so Jim now is out. Jim is now out because Jim lost to Steve here in the very beginning, and he just lost to Mike. So that was 2 losses each. They're both out. Same thing down here. Nick and Cole are going against each other, and Cole beats Nick. And so since Nick lost his first match to Cole, and then now just lost to Cole again, he is out. So he's out. Okay, so now I actually did forget something. This is why this tournament is kind of tricky. So when Steve was the winner on the winner's side, he beat Tanner. So Tanner moved all the way over here to play the winner of this match, which was Mike and Cole. And the person that won this one was Cole, and he beat Mike. So Mike was out, because that's his second loss. Because remember, he was on the winner's side at first, and Mike lost to Steve going into the round before the winner's side. And so Mike wasn't over here, so Mike just lost there too. So he lost here and lost there, so he's out. And so now we have the match to win the loser side, which is Cole versus Tanner. Tanner won. So Tanner is the winner of the loser side, basically. And Tanner, so now moves all the way over here to this little bracket. I forgot to say that. So when Steve won on the winner side, he moved to this bracket and was automatically going to play the winner of the loser bracket, which was Tanner, like I just said. And so this is where it gets kind of tricky. Since Steve hasn't lost, he's undefeated, and Tanner has lost once. If Steve wins the first race, then it's over. Steve gets first, Tanner gets second, and Cole would get third. If Steve and Tanner, or if Tanner beats Steve, now they both have 1 loss each. They would have to race again, basically like a tiebreak race, to see who the winner is, the overall first place championship winner. So let's say Steve won, just outright won. So he would go here, and so he is the outright winner. So Steve gets first. Tanner would get second, since Tanner was the winner over here on the loser side. And he had 1 loss, so Steve went undefeated. Tanner had 1 loss, and Cole will take third. And so, yeah, that is a double elimination with placement. I hope I explained it somewhat well. I missed the lecture, so I think my tournament grid is a little different than the one I think from the book, but I think it somewhat means the same thing. All right. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you.